Hi. All right. So, welcome back, guys. All right. So, this is going to be a bonus general message. These are the ones that I start out with some anecdote, something real that happened pertaining to my dog, and then we see if that sets a tone for the story. My pup, I'm going to be doing some nail clipping on him, but first, a friend of mine had their big old Pooch, that is Aries' kind of best doggy friend, was getting her nails done. And so I went over and was kind of assisting with her nails first. And it was just so adorable. And she was so happy to have the attention. She doesn't love her nails done any more than Aries does, but she does love the attention. So, anyway, just kind of a side note, maybe somebody is being like having a spa day or a nail day, or maybe this is going to be just an inspired story of how nice it is to support people during those little difficult things that they have to go through. We've got the Knight of Wands here. Knight of Wands is normally someone who can be mm, charismatic, but sometimes it's because they enjoy that charismatic overflow and the feedback loop that they get for being really attractive and really charismatic. And sometimes they don't have staying power. They just come in for that emotional high, and then they flit around like a little bee buzzing to each flower. This particular character is a little bit more sincere than most of our Knights of Wands, I think, only because, yes, he is standing behind and not in the knight's armor, but we can see this is almost like someone who's got this grandiose energy where they really do want to come in and be, do the sweeping, milady, and throw a rose. And there is this, there, even in their, they're genuinely wanting to be chivalrous, perhaps, even if their chivalry is but for a moment. So this is a little bit more of a complex character. They're they could do great moments of heroics here and there, and they probably come in and they make people feel really good, even if it's but for a moment. And so that's kind of, we're going to have to take a close look at this character. We have a Ten of Wands in the reverse. We have a Two of Swords upright. I really feel like somebody says, I do not want to get swept up in their charm again. I know now that they come across as very charismatic, very chivalrous, and it doesn't matter if they're masculine or feminine, they're just happening to come across as a masculine at this point, but I don't actually read for genders in my storytelling. Um, this is somebody who's saying, no, thank you. No, thank you. I want to block them. I want to be immune to their charms. And I say that because what we have is like a headless mannequin in front of this woman who's standing here with her eyes, covered in a blindfold, and she's blocking the charm of this character. She's like, nope, I will not react. I will not be, wooed by them. I shall not be made to feel my heart pitter patter when they come in and they try to seduce me with their charms. I won't let it happen again. I'm not going to go through that again. So this Knight of Wands, although I don't know right now if I would say that they intentionally, let's ask, Knight of Wands, did you intentionally try to bamboozle or win the heart of someone? We have the High Priestess in the reverse. Well, let's put it this way. They are deeply intuitive, but they use their intuition to say, I can feel what other people would want from me. I can feel, like exactly the right words. They're very good. Nine of Wands. Okay. They're very good at sensing what other individuals would need. Like they know just how to romance somebody, because they use all of their powers of intuition to pick up on the needs of others. This person is actually an empath, but at the same time, they're that thing that they do, although not done with ill intent, they are trying to heal something in themselves. And the way they do that, since we have them as a wounded warrior and 9 of Wands, the way they do that is to make people like them, make people even love them. And in their eyes, without them, I don't think this is like they intentionally think in their heads, you know what I'll do? I'll create these magical moments to share with other people. And like I give them the gift of the illusion of these perfect moments that brighten everyone's day. I think they genuinely believe that it's a nice thing that they use their charisma and their powers of perception to figure out what would make someone weak in the knees, and then they provide that beautiful moment, but it's not going to last, and it's not really intended to last, and they don't really have the staying power. But sharing those magical moments that they create, that's what they use their empathic, intuitive energy for. But they think they're doing basically an act of goodwill by interacting and showering someone with this kind of false sense of, doting on them, the appreciation, the love, all of that. They think that's a nice thing to do, but the truth is they get something out of it too. This is helping to heal them when people fall a little bit in love with them. It's like this character is a bit of a little vampire. They're going around, but the thing is they give, and then they also take. It's like, I'm going to give you this beautiful illusion of, I give you a rose. I'm very charismatic. I shower you with attention. You feel really good. And in turn, you fall for me. And then I feel really good, and it helps to heal me. The problem with this is when it turns out to not be sincere, it's almost like they're too good at this. And now if they started out by saying, would you like to have, we'll say 3 hours of a delightful fantasy with me. I'm going to create a wonderful fantasy, and you'll be the star of it, and I'll shower you with attention, and vice versa. And we can feel this wonderful romance, this beautiful fiction, but they don't present it that way. And with that in mind, it actually does wind up, I think that they're about done doing this, because it does wind up causing problems. Death card is here. They're actually having the reverse effect now. What they thought was going to be, wonderful and it's restorative, it turns out it's not working. Death card is here, Magician is in the reverse, and the 5 of Wands is here upright. And I would say it's because they're in this place where they're starting to realize, oh, people don't like that. They don't like it when I sell them the dream of this fantasy romance. In fact, they don't want me around anymore. In fact, they're blocking me. In fact, this doesn't maybe work so good for me either anymore. That could be partially because they're healing now. They're at that 9 of Wands. All the things that they used to do, they don't have to keep doing it because they're almost healed anyway. But they might now, from a more healed energy, be recognizing, yikes, that fantasy aspect. Oh, see, they don't want the fantasy aspect anymore either. They want something real. Now, wait a minute. Is it because they found somebody real? The very person who doesn't want them at this point, because they're saying you were just a game player. That's all you were. You presented a false narrative to me on purpose to make me fall for you. Hold on. 2 of Pentacles. Let me get one more. Tell me about this person that says, I don't want them near me. I don't want to hear their sweet words. I'm moving on. Once again, we have them showing up with that 2 of Swords and the 6 of Swords. Yeah. Okay, so this is an interesting story because this knight, they are an intuitive. They would seek out people to have an amazing pretend romance with because it fed them, and they imagined that they were debonair and they were giving their best performance to individuals. But it turns out they did that with somebody who maybe was quite real, somebody that they hurt quite a bit, somebody who said, well, you're nothing but a game. You're nothing but It's all pretense with you. Nothing is real. Knight of Wands, that's not chivalrous. That's false. You don't come in and offer a rose and mean it. You're just playing games. I don't want anything to do with your games. Calling them out like this character, whomever she is, she called this knight out. This knight thought that what they were doing was somehow like they gave joy to people. And instead, a couple things have happened. A, she wants nothing to do with them. Her calling them out made them look at their own behavior in a very different way. But to top it off, not only did it take away their mojo, I think she crushed their suave, debonair energy. She crushed that and said, this is just game playing. And then they started to see it that way, but that's also when they started to realize, but I didn't actually want to play a game. They've been looking for something real, even as they've been playing games, that's where it's like a crazy twist. She over here is saying, I know that, they're so suave that if they did come back around, it would be hard to not get caught up in it, but I don't want to get caught up in it anymore. No, thank you. That Two of Pentacles, they're wishy-washy, they're indecisive, they don't have staying power. She says, I've moved on from them. I don't ever want to hear from them again. I've moved on from them. I mean, like, she's saying very powerfully and with a lot of conviction, all I want is people in my life that can be loyal. I don't ever want to hear from that disloyal knight again. So she saw their debonair attitude. She saw this in a very sour light. And that is not the way they had seen their own behavior. So tell me this, Knight, why do you now feel as if she is so important to you, though? If indeed it is her. I mean, with that 10 of Pentacles, they've come to this place where they don't want to play those games. They actually want something real. But what's bizarre with the moon behind these two, I almost feel like they didn't realize what they've been looking for all along, which is, again, another weird twist, because it's like, how does somebody that intuitive yet knowingly, they know what they were doing, but they didn't really understand why they were doing it. This is someone who's been looking for genuine connection, but they thought making a genuine connection was them using their powers of perception to figure out what somebody needed, and then they provide that charismatic, seductive energy and create a false relationship, because it was like, well, that's what people want, is the illusion of this great romance, when in truth, what they have been looking for was a true great romance, but they were playing house with every person they would meet, trying to get that emotional high and almost imagining that they were gifting somebody something, and vice versa. Like, oh yeah, but this is what romance is. You just come in, you pretend, so it's always just the honeymoon phase. Then you skedaddle. You don't let it last. You don't really build anything, because, well, that's not what romance is. Romance isn't something that you build, right? But that's exactly what they've been always wishing for without even knowing it. They've wanted something real, but they've been completely superficial. So why was it with her that it finally triggered and clicked, like, oh my God, but I want something real? Ace of Coins. With that Death card that we saw, and then this 10 of Pentacles and this Ace of Coins, 10 of Swords. Wow. You know what's so crazy? Even as they caused her grief through their behavior, she helped them to finally heal, because they realized they met somebody that was real. You know what's so crazy? If she hadn't been hurt by them and called them out and walked away from them, they wouldn't have had it click in their brain, oh my God, she was the real deal. I could have had something real with her, and that's actually what I'm hungry for. And she's the one who's helped me finish healing from the thing that made me always think you just come into a relationship, or the pretense of one, you build one on superficial, charisma, and then you have the honeymoon phase, and then you dip out and you go get to some other honeymoon phase with some new person, and you just keep cycling through these short-lived tiny duration relationships that never get any deeper than superficial, hot and heavy romance that doesn't actually turn into love. Now they know that's what they want. And something about it's almost like because they knew she really was serious about them and she was really hurt and she walked away from them after calling them out. That's what helped them, ironically, finish their own healing and identify what's been in them all along, which is, but I wanted something real. I just didn't know that that existed. So I was doing superficial instead, thinking that's what it was. Oh my God, the Empress. They're sure that they've met their Empress. They're crazy in love with her at this point. They know that they met somebody real. So what are they going to do? Because at this point, she wants nothing to do with them. We have the Knight of Pentacles sideways. Right now, they're doing nothing. Right now, they're not attempting to come back in. They're not building a plan. In fact, we have the Knight of Cups in the reverse, but we have the Six of Cups upright and the Queen of Pentacles upright. We have them thinking, well, there's no way I can come back toward her with any form of romance. Everything, I'm coming back toward her, but I'll have to come back toward her because I know now I'm dealing with the Queen of Pentacles, dealing with somebody stable, solid, grounded. It's going to have to be, it's basically like there can't be any kind of sexy approach where she's not going to buy it. They know this now. Ten of Wands is upright. Ooh, there's a lot of burdens. There's a lot of burdens. They're realizing there's a lot to course correct on. High Priestess, the Hermit, the Five of Cups. Wow. You know what's so crazy? They're now using their powers of intuition to kind of, I think, see things through her viewpoint, which is good because they shouldn't be trying to approach until they've just now learned something about themselves. Now they have to figure out, they've been so intuitive about what people want, but only in the superficial level. Now they have to understand the person that they know is high value, the person that they actually hurt through these games that they played. And now they're trying to understand who is she? Where is she at now? She's on a silent, very wounded hermit's journey at the moment. And it's just now clicking for them what their behavior would have done to somebody that was real, somebody that wasn't playing games. And they're here as a King of Swords, legitimately contemplating what another person who's serious has gone through. Seven of Cups. They don't know how to fix this at the moment. We get one more here. Come on, character, figure it out. We don't have much time before I wrap this up. Ace of Swords. They keep saying, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix this. I can completely understand what I did. I can completely understand what they think. Three of Wands, Queen of Swords, Two of Swords, Six of Swords. Wow, they think they've lost her. Let's take this to a part 2. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks so much for giving it a thumbs up. The free link will be in the description box. Bye.